Freedom is often more important than wealth for healthcare entrepreneurs, those who has a desire and true drive to create change for both themselves and for others. It's about innovating freely, impacting lives, and growing personally and professionally. Today, Dr. David Phelps joins me to embody this journey, guiding entrepreneurs from the trenches of hard work to a life where business and fulfillment is the center point. Dive into today's episode as we discover how to craft a life rich in freedom, aligned with your deepest aspiration. Welcome to Provider's Edge, the podcast that helps healthcare entrepreneurs and innovators break down barriers and control their business, life, and future with valuable action steps. With me, your host, Sabrina Rumbach, a recovered clinician and a business deal catalyst. Let's rewrite the rules and create a positive social impact while increasing your profitability. Hi, everyone. Welcome back for another amazing episode. And today we have Dr. David here with us. He has been a veteran of also being podcasters, speakers, authors, as many of our amazing healthcare professionals out there who has branched away and beyond what they do in the day-to-day clinical side. And he is focusing on the freedom. And what does that mean to have freedom? For many of us, there are many different measurements. And for him, there are 5 of them. And he created the Freedom Founders to help its members to achieve the freedom that they wanted in their life by building the necessary financial foundation. So can't wait. Thank you so much, Dr. David, for being here with us.
Thank you, Sabrina. Glad to be here.
Awesome. I know everyone has their own story, and I can never express it as well as you can. So give us a little bit of background of why going into dentistry, and then what made you to have that pivot moment to actually coming out of that and focusing on the financial freedom piece.
So I was always inquisitive about finance, even when I was in college and dental school, but knowing that I still had to get out and start a profession, start my career, right? But I read books about investing. And I actually got started in real estate when I was in my first year of dental school as a D1, way back, 1980. And bought my first property with my dad's help. And that kind of catalyzed me to going forward. I went ahead and graduated dental school in 1983 and went on in my career in dentistry on one track. And then I kept buying real estate, primarily residential properties for the next 15 years, at which time my daughter, my only child, when she was 2.5, she was diagnosed with leukemia, high-risk leukemia. We spent 3 very arduous years. She survived it. Unfortunately, the marriage to her mother didn't. No fault, just a lot of stress. We carried on. I became the best, father I could. Seeing her on weekends when I could. I dug my head in, really worked hard, and then 8 years later, after she survived leukemia, she's in end-stage liver failure. So I'm back again, wondering how much more time I'm going to get with my daughter. Doing what everybody does in their career and their practice, you got to provide for your family. You got to work hard in your business, your profession. We all know that. But still, at the same time, it's like, what kind of price are the members of my family paying for me being such a hard worker? And it was that time when she was in the hospital at age 12 after the liver transplant that I just decided I would really take a look at, what had I built up, including my practice equity, but also the real estate. Was that enough for me to buy back some time right then and there when I really needed it, when my daughter needed it? Could I buy back some time to spend more time with her? Not to retire, not to be done with life, but no, just enough. And that's when I really came to the conclusion that there's a freedom number, not a retirement number, but a freedom number that if you can develop enough passive cash flow as you're going through your career, you can take some stress off, you can take your foot off that pedal and buy back more time and maybe change actually the way you practice, taking more opportunities to perhaps not take on all the insurance companies. Maybe you don't feel like you have to expand and do all these things that some people think you need to do to have a career of wealth and financial security. So I left dentistry during that period of time because I wanted to be with my daughter, knowing that I could always go back. I could start another practice. I could be an associate, lots of options because it wasn't my health, it was hers. I never went back. Not because I didn't love dentistry. Dentistry was great for me, but I was on to my next. And I wrote a book about that. I wrote a number of books, but one book I wrote was What's Your Next? Kind of came out of my thinking about we should always be aspiring. Doesn't mean you have to leave your practice. Doesn't mean you have to sell to do your next. But what other skill sets can you develop in your life so you have what I call Plan B? And the financial part in real estate, alternative investments is what I focus on today through our Community Freedom Founders, because I believe that tangible assets provide more certainty and sustainability in cash flow, which is really what everybody wants in life. Accumulating a lot of net worth, fine, but what do you do with that net worth? How do you make it work for you? Not just when you retire, but when you're ready to take some time off, maybe spend more time with your family.
Dr. David's journey from a career in dentistry to becoming a financial mentor focused on achieving freedom. He shares the deeply personal catalysts that prompted his shift towards a life where work is optional, emphasizing the importance of freedom number and the balance of personal and professional realms. He discussed the concept of building passive income, investing in real estate, and the significance of tangible assets for sustainable cash flow, all aimed at constructing a life rich in fulfillment and choice. A quick announcement before we move forward. If you are a healthcare entrepreneur or startup founder looking to accelerate your social mission and increase profitability sustainably, don't hesitate to reach out to me, Sabrina Runback, on LinkedIn, or go to postpointpass.com/apply to grab a quick virtual coffee chat with our team. Let's connect and discuss how we can take your healthcare business to the next level.
Right. It's all, at the end of the day, it's exchange. What are you willing to exchange, have a reservoir to be able to afford the life that you wanted to have? I think all of us who has gone through some type of similar journey, whether it's a family getting sick or you personally getting sick or you just hit a wall, we all realize that we work hard. But why are we working hard? To actually enjoy life with the people we want to enjoy, with the amount of time we are willing to spend. So what's the point of continue to work hard to become a certain set of people, but I'm actually not getting you to where you wanted to go? So I so appreciate you for sharing that. And it definitely intrigued me for when you're saying about that, what's that minimum score of cash flow? I believe for any of us, whether you're in leadership, you've created your entrepreneurial journey, running your own practice, having a whole technology solution built under you, right? No matter what, we care about cash flow. If we don't have enough cash flow, there's nothing you can do to move forward. You feel stuck. So how do you really calculate that? If you don't mind explaining that to us.
Yeah, we start with the end in mind. So we take our members and have them actually go through their budget items, say, what does it take for you on a monthly basis to fund your current lifestyle? Whatever it is, whatever you decide, whatever it is, whatever you do with your kids, education, the whole night, trips, travel, vacation homes, whatever is important to you, let's get a number on that. Because most people, Sabrina, that are blessed to have high incomes, which most of our dentists are certainly above average, don't really have to budget, because you can always, as long as you're healthy, you can always go back and make more money by working harder, right? And that's what I call kind of the curse of high income, is because we can always make more money, then we don't ever say, well, what is really enough? Not to put a lid on what people want to do in their life. That's not what I'm doing. Is saying, what would it take for you on a replacement income cash flow to fund your lifestyle? And once you know what that is, then you can actually reverse engineer and say, well, then what kind of investment allocations do I need to make to start moving toward that? You'd be surprised how many people who have great practices, they've done really, really well in their life and have nice lifestyles, and they have a certain amount of net worth, whether it's in qualified plans or tax brokerage accounts or even equity in their practice or commercial buildings, that equity is not really working for them. It's saved up, it's accumulated, but if they could take some of it and start saying, how can I make this equity start working? Then they can start to see, oh, this is how it really works, rather than that depletion model, which is say, build it up, and then when you quote retire, then you can start taking it down over the years. It's like, why can't you start having some freedom, some measure of freedom now in your life, whether you're in your 30s or 40s or 50s? Why do you have to wait until this magical retirement day when you're supposed to say, well, now I finally have enough? Because then you may have missed the memories. You may have missed the opportunities with family members and loved ones to do the things you always thought you would do, but you just want to wait till you just got there, whatever there is, and there oftentimes never comes.
Dr. David's philosophy on the broader implications of financial freedom, focusing on how it enables a higher quality of life and time for what truly matters. He discussed the importance of understanding one's financial goals and lifestyle needs to craft a personalized freedom number, which then allows for a more intentional, fulfilled living. This approach isn't just about achieving a comfortable life. It's about redefining success to include freedom in life, relationship, and personal growth. All right, don't miss an episode. Subscribe to our podcast today on your favorite podcast platform to get the latest insights. Together, we can rewrite the rules for your business and create a positive social impact in healthcare industry. All right, let's get back to the rest of our show.
Right, it's for sure. From the 7 Habits of Most Effective People, always begin with the end in mind. And that's even when we do business investment evaluation for these high-tech companies. Great, you made success. Congratulations. I want you to go even further. But do you even know what that looks like? Or it's just the endless moving target? Hey, I hit this target, then I'm going to set even higher. Yes, for some of us, it does seem like a self-motivation. I'm able to do it, now I can go higher. However, when do you actually allow yourself, just like Dr. David is saying, to appreciate yourself, to award the hard work that you put in, the effort, and then celebrate even with your staff and not just feeling like everyone just have to keep pushing it. And then the limited days that you had for yourself to enjoy this is just, okay, I'm done with it, need to go back, right? And it definitely is a tough balance because I think we all can say that. Like, well, if I just do another operation, if I just do another overtime, right? Yeah, that money comes for my next vacation. But do we really want it to measure life that way? Or do we want it to be more smarter about it?
Exactly. Yes. As you said, we're all driven. We all have a high work ethic. That's how we got through school to get to where we are. And that's a great character. But yes, we tend to move the field goal posts, right? We have a certain line. We say, yeah, and then we get there. It's like, well, I could do more. I could do more. And I think a lot of people don't celebrate those wins, Sabrina. I think, and I'm included in that group. It's like, it's just, I got to keep doing more because we've just kind of been set up with our DNA just to be high achievers. And again, there's nothing wrong with being a high achievement, but if we're doing it at the cost of other aspects of our life, then I think that's where it is not necessarily always a good thing.
Exactly. So some people are looking at my life now, I have cut down clinical medicine all the way down to like barely a week all of the months. So that I can have the time to do all the fun stuff, the speaking engagements, the running the podcast, having a whole network of healthcare creatives, and then really focusing on healthcare technology. But without me just allowing myself to say, no, I'm not just devoting, always thinking about end to end, right? How much time I put in equals this amount of money. Now I never allow myself to have that freedom. So once people are able to calculate that quality of life equals this dollar sign, to have a comfort, right? We're not saying being cheap on yourself and don't live up. So have that comfort spot. What do you think they need to do next?
Well, we have the 5 freedoms, a pyramid like Maslow's hierarchy. And at the base is financial, because that's what everybody considers. When I'm free, I will be financially independent. Well, what does that mean? Back to your point, we've had to say, what does that really mean? Once people are even on the pathway and can measure what their run rate is towards that freedom, I call it a freedom number, towards that replacement income, that cash flow, then they can start focusing on the other freedoms, which most people don't. The next one on my evolution is time freedom. When I asked people, I said, well, what do you really want to get out of Freedom Founders? And well, I want to get a higher return on investment of my money, and I need to learn how to invest in real estate. I said, okay, fine. But what is that really about? Where is that going to take you? And what it really comes down to when you press, it's like, I want more time. I want more time. That's what we all really want. So time freedom, then relationship freedom. What relationships are we keeping in our lives because we think we have to? That could be vendors in our practice. That could be staff people. That could be patients. There could be a lot of things that we keep in our life because we think we have to. We have no recourse, right? And then the next one up The fourth freedom is health. We can have all the money in the world and all the success in the world, but if we don't have our health or the health of the people around us that we want to do things with, what was it all worth? And the top of the pyramid is really what Maslow said is what is self-actualization? What is your purpose, your significance? What's your meaning in life? Where do you want to have, real impact? Not that you're not having impact today, whatever you do, but what's that legacy mean to you? How are you living your legacy today? And when people start to see the financial piece coming into shape, they start to see it. It's happening. Then those other four freedoms become more predominant, and not just waiting till that down the line where they look back and wish they had regrets about. I wish I would have done this. I wish I've done that. I hate for people to have regrets because we don't want to live our life that way, right?
Exactly. And then I love the way that you put it, the pyramid of the hierarchy. I actually make people do something similar in a sense of you have to rank which freedom is most important to you and reverse that out of 1 to 5. If we don't even know what's most important to you, how do you make any decision in life or even in business, right? For the people who has good profit, good funding, of course, they're not going to be so hung up on the money side. They're going to be more looking on the purpose side. And
Yes.
Purpose, for me, also linked to activity. So why, when we talk about peak performer, it's actually the decision on what you do to get you to that purpose. So it's so much important on how do you make a decision on who to do, how to delegate, how to eliminate. And then all the other pieces, right? Some people will say, oh, relationship, I don't ever have the good people, quote unquote, where I just have the people in my life. I just have to work with whatever I got. Instead of be more open-minded to say, how do you find these people? Or the people that you have actually have great talent. You just need to be positioning them in the right place. So then they will become internally driven to match that purpose freedom, their own purpose start matching with yours. So it's amazing concept on how we puzzle all those together. At the end of the day, I think we just need to allow ourselves to take some time, relax, really self-reflect on what's important to us, and then actually be okay to say, okay, now I thought about it. Now this is what I want to do. Then I'm going to trust myself to actually do it and not just think about it.
We need to create some more margin in our lives, because what I find is again the busyness of everybody's lives. There's kind of a divide and conquer with spouses or partners, and they each take a part in their family's lives or whatever they're doing, and that's important. That's normal. But where do we come together to recreate that vision that maybe when we started out, when we first got together, years before and before we started our families and our careers? How do we bring that back again and recreate that vision forward again so we don't miss out on things in life that are important? And those, I call them spouse conversations or partner conversations that are so important. And I think that's where we see a lot of people coming together and re-examining what they've been all about. And again, having more of a map, a roadmap or blueprint on how to go from where they are today to what they want next. And that doesn't have to be 20 years from now. That could be, what do you want to see achieved in the next quarter, next 90 days, the next year? Getting really intentional and really specific about it, making it measurable is what really moves the needle. And a lot of people just keep on that hamster wheel, living a good life, but there's not the quality they want to it. And getting measurable and specific in everything we do in life, I think, is very, very important.
Yes, exactly. Anything that we have all these concepts and tools that can be applied to our professional life, it's applied to our personal life and vice versa. We have to be able to really integrate everything into a good spot and then just trust ourselves, be okay to say, hey, we were high functioning, we made all this money, but at some point, how do we want it to be? You're saying, I love the word sustainable, right? Love the life, but it's also sustainable and not feeling like, oh my gosh, I just pulled a 12-hour day. This weekend I can relax. But this weekend comes around, you're going to have all these chores laying out. And then when are you actually relaxed? Even for some of us that go on vacation, I technically take a vacation almost every month now. But then we come back, I purposely give myself a half day off and just to reset, because getting right back into work, your mind can't keep up.
That's right. No, 100%. I think a lot of it, Sabrina, it's like we have to give ourselves permission, right? Because again, we're hard drivers, and we think if we're not focused and doing the thing that we do that, quote, makes money or makes the organization run, the business or practice run, that we feel guilty. And I think sometimes we have to give ourselves permission or have somebody else give us permission, say, you need to step back a little bit. You need to reevaluate. You need to look at the bigger picture and refresh and reset, because until we do that, it's just kind of a constant churning. And that's what burns people out so quickly.
Exactly. I so appreciate you for saying that. Yes, the three biggest is fear and disappointment, and then is that guilt. So if we can really take ourselves away from that and understand how beautiful we each are, how unique we are, and then it's okay to not get into that spiral, and then we become a much better person for the rest of people in our life, from as a business leader and as well as a mom, a dad, a wife, and a girlfriend, or just like a daughter or son, right? Like, so whatever that position that you are in, we support you, and I so appreciate you being here. And please tell us and everyone listening, how is the best way to contact you?
Well, we have a company website, which is freedomfounders.com. You can find me on YouTube. I do a lot of videos on the economy and the marketplace. I also have a podcast, the Dentist Freedom Blueprint Podcast. So those are some places where people can connect and follow up if they care to.
Perfect. Yay. We know this is a big topic we can talk about for a long time. But hopefully that you guys get a sweet taste of what it is, and then go find Dr. David with all his amazing work and then support and resources.
In my dialogue with Dr. David, we dived into his strategies and insights, learning how to construct our own path to freedom that resonates with our deepest aspiration and value. It's not just about making a living, but about making a life that's rich in every sense of the world. Here's a quick summary of the 5 major points we discussed. Number 1, defining freedom in personal and professional realms. Dr. David redefined freedom as a holistic blend of financial stability, personal growth, and fulfillment. He emphasized aligning life's facets to achieve a rich, balanced existence. Number 2, the journey from dentistry to financial mentorship. Dr. David shared his transformative journey from dentistry to mentoring others in financial freedom, highlighting a pivotal moment that redefined his definition of success and personal fulfillment. Number 3, realizing the freedom number. Dr. David introduced the freedom number, a financial target for living comfortably without active work. He advocates for building passive income and investing in assets to secure a life rich in personal pursuits. Number 4, the 5 pillars of freedom. Dr. David presents a pyramid of freedoms, urging a balance between financial stability, time, relationship, health, and self-actualization. This holistic approach ensures a deeply satisfying and comprehensive sense of freedom. Number 5, the importance of creating margin in life. Dr. David stresses the necessity of creating margins for reflection and recalibration in our intertwined lives. He champions intentionally living and strategic planning to align daily actions with ultimate life goals. As you reflect on your own journey toward freedom, consider what steps you might take today to align your actions with your ultimate vision for life. Share your experience and insight with us by posting it on LinkedIn and tag me, Sabrina Rombach. I would love to join you in a conversation to reflect on your own journey on the freedom path. What does freedom look like for you? And how are you navigating your path towards it? Thank you for tuning in to Provider's Edge podcast. We hope you enjoy our latest episode and found the insights and tips helpful. We'd love to hear your feedback on the show and learn what topics you'd like us to cover in the future. So please take a moment to leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform and let us know what you think. Your feedback is essential to help us improve the show and provide you with the content you need to take your healthcare business to the next level. Thank you for your support, and we look forward to hearing from you soon.